Today's video is made possible by Hulu Plus. For a free extended 2-week trial, head over to huluplus.com/TLD. Hey guys, Jonathan here with TLD. Hope you guys are doing well. 2014 is getting closer, and before we get there, I wanted to take a look back at my top 5 favorite smartphone experiences of 2013. Now, as a disclaimer, I did not get a chance to check out every single smartphone of the year. There were a ton of great options, so my list may differ from yours, and if that's the case, that's cool. Let me know with a comment down below your top 5, or simply your favorite smartphone of 2013 and why. This list is in no particular order. I think I enjoyed each of these for different reasons, and to try to single out or narrow a favorite phone of the year was a little too hard for me. So with that said, kicking off the list of my top 5 smartphones of 2013, first up is the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. Now the Note 3 is actually a big reason why the Galaxy S4 did not make my list, because it kind of took everything that was awesome about the S4 and kind of one-upped that. We of course have a bigger 5.7-inch Super AMOLED 1080p display, which is absolutely killer for watching and consuming media. On top of that, the Note 3 has a bigger, beefier Snapdragon 800 processor, which features 4 cores at 2.3 GHz and a massive 3 gigs of RAM. So we of course can see the Galaxy Note 3 is packing a tremendous punch in terms of hardware, and it also has a massive 3200 mAh battery to back it up, so you get tremendous battery life. It also features a really good 13 megapixel camera, and a hidden gem on the Snapdragon models is 4K video recording. Yes, you heard that correctly, 4 freaking K video out of a smartphone. Now granted, it's not going to look great if you're free-handing it because there is no image stabilization, but if you can mount it onto a tripod or something like that, you're going to get some tremendous looking video. Next up is the Google Nexus 5, which of course was the first Android 4.4 KitKat device to ship, but on top of that, it packs a massive amount of hardware into a beautiful sleek design, all for $350 off contract. Unlike the Nexus 4, which sacrificed LTE to get it into that price point, we now see that on the Nexus 5, so assuming you're in a decently covered area, you're going to get some fantastic network speeds. Top that off with a near 5-inch 1080p display, which I will admit isn't the best quality or doesn't have the best viewing angles compared to other smartphones, but for the price, it is a tremendous value. Now, not only are you getting the latest Android 4.4 KitKat experience, but you're getting that backed up with a Snapdragon 800 quad-core processor, so it's snappy, responsive, super fluid, and I think you can clearly see why this made my list. Next up is the iPhone 5S, and I know there's going to be some Apple haters, and I gotta admit, it was a little hard after using Android for most of the year coming back to a smaller 4-inch display. Aside from the relatively low screen size compared to most smartphones these days, the iPhone 5S actually packed a lot of awesome under the hood, starting with the 64-bit A7 processor, which on paper you might laugh at. It's dual-core, it's not clocked very high, but if you stack it up head-to-head, it's actually faster than the Galaxy S4, competes right there with the Note 3, and is a really powerful processor and absolutely tears through games. Pair that with an M7 coprocessor, which is dedicated solely for motion data, and that's going to take some stress off of the CPU, so it's going to track all your steps, for example. And this is something that I used on a daily basis because it worked really accurate and really well. The iPhone 5S also features a fantastic 8 megapixel camera with better low light performance, and of course we have my favorite, the slow motion video, which shoots 120 frames per second at 720p, and you're going to get some outstanding results. Last up is the fingerprint reader, aka Apple's Touch ID sensor, which allows you to not only unlock your phone with your fingerprint, but you can also verify purchases in iTunes and the App Store, which is really convenient. Next up is the Moto X, which to me was the surprise smartphone of 2013 because on paper, the specs were really underwhelming. Everyone looked at the 720p display, the dual-core processor, and kind of really didn't give it a chance, thought it was going to be a whatever phone. But to me, it was one of my favorite experiences of 2013. Ergonomically, it was without a doubt the most comfortable smartphone I've held this year, if not ever. Something about the way it sits in your hand, the little dimple on the back, It was just really comfortable to hold. Now technically the Moto X has a skinned OS, but it's really probably the closest pure Android experience you can get without of course having a pure Android phone. They for the most part left everything stock and pure, but added useful features here and there. Active notifications was one of those, and one of my favorite ways to check notifications on any smartphone this year. It was a really quick and easy way to check your updates and also conserve battery life at the same time. You of course then have the shake to instantly access the camera, which is a really useful feature. It's a shame the camera wasn't better. It's not great, but it's definitely not terrible, so you're gonna get an okay camera with the Moto X. I really enjoyed the Motorola Assist feature while driving, and overall it was just a great experience. Battery life, overall performance, I just really enjoyed the Moto X. Last up and closing out my list is the HTC One. If you made me choose and had a gun up to my head and said, Jonathan, pick your favorite phone of the year, I might lean towards the HTC One simply because I enjoyed pretty much everything about it. It has tremendous build quality, super sexy design made out of aluminum, so it just feels really premium, and I'd probably call it the best built smartphone of 2013. It features a Snapdragon 600 1.7 GHz quad-core CPU, which at the time was kind of the cream of the top. Obviously, we have seen faster CPUs, but it is still a very capable processor. HTC also tried to shake up the game with their 4 megapixel ultra pixel camera, which essentially just took bigger pixels, which equated to better low light performance. And while it did suffer a little bit in terms of sharpness, it was still one of my favorite smartphone cameras of 2013. And of course, we cannot forget boom sound, which is probably one of my favorite things on a smartphone ever. I don't know why we had not seen this yet on a smartphone. It's a pretty simple concept. We look directly at our phones when we consume media, so why not slap 2 stereo speakers on there? The end result is an outstanding sounding speaker on a smartphone. In most situations, it was good enough where you didn't need an external speaker, and that made me sometimes not even use headphones and really consume a lot of media on the HTC One. So that was my top 5 smartphones of 2013, and before I hop out of here, I want to give a huge shout out to Hulu Plus for making this video possible. Now I know most of you guys being on the interwebs know what Hulu is, but Hulu Plus ramps up the awesome and it's kind of like upgrading to an HD screen on your smartphone or tablet for the first time. With Hulu Plus, you can catch up on the entire season of currently airing shows, you can watch old favorites, or even a movie. You can stream as many TV shows or movies as you want anytime, anywhere, so whether that's your PS4, your Xbox One, your Roku, or even one of these top 5 smartphones that we talked about. Hulu Plus has a huge selection of shows like Saturday Night Live, Jimmy Kimmel, and of course Shark Tank. They also feature exclusive original content like Behind the Mask and The Wrong Mans, and they were nice enough to reach out to me and offer those who watch TLD a free extended 2-week trial by heading over to huluplus.com/TLD. Now, a lot of you ask, how can you help support the channel? This is a super simple and easy way to do that. It allows us to put out the best possible content that we can, and you score a killer deal at the same time. Make sure to use that link down below to let them know we sent you. So aside from that, thank you guys very much for watching. Now, of course, my list may be different from yours. I didn't get a chance to check out much of the Sony Xperia line or the Windows phones this year. I really wish I could have checked out the LG G2 as well, and I will say that the Moto G should definitely be an honorable mention just for the sheer amount of craziness as far as price to performance you get out of that bad boy. Now, I did this video kind of in collaboration with Marquez over at the MKB HD channel, which of course he needs no introduction, probably the best tech reviewer on the planet right now. So if you guys want to check out his top 5 and kind of see why he chose his as opposed to why I chose mine, definitely check out that video, which is annotated right here and also linked down below just in case you don't have annotations toggled on. Aside from that, if you guys have any questions, definitely leave me a line down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, or Google+, which are also linked down below along with the gear that I use to make these videos. If you guys have not subscribed, feel free to do so. We got a big 2014 ahead of us. I'm excited for that, and I will see you guys later.